All right, everybody. I'm talking. All right, look. I'm just going to start reading the poems. This one's the one that's coming out with Yale and Palimpsest. It's called Colt. First published by Milkweed, which I'm very grateful for. You're not here. That's good. Okay. Colt. I am thrashing beneath, resisting. Moments ago, I was a colt never harnessed. But now, with his hands on my mouth, I widen my eyes and thrash and stare as one wrist flashes over my head like a fan blade, petting me. The other, again over my mouth, is seasoned, stable, practiced like a rancher's. His fingers in my nostrils, petting me, calming me while the thrash ceases. As moments ago, never harnessed, I was a colt. Okay, all right. All right, let's keep the tension up. No clapping. I'm a cheerleader. This one's called Running Low on Money. In a different time, we might have fought less for a smaller half-dollar, sand-dollar-sized piece of land, held out for rent by the brothers-in-law of the law who threaten us with vagrancy, with urgency, with hunger. But it is now, and in the now we find ourselves fighting and fighting hard against ourselves and the man with the land who laughs. And the rent rises, and the anger soars and sears, and the floorboards shake underneath our stamping feet, and beneath them is the land of the man who laughs. This world is not the damage of a rogue demagogue. This is cannibalism, and capitalism, and cannibalism again, where I cut off my brother's ring finger, he doesn't use it, and cook it over Ma's funeral pyre. And in the fire, I smell the smoke of my family, and it stinks. Now, no, in the future, we will be I, and I will be fingerless, and covered in ash, and starving, and violent. In the future, I will be calm, and there will be silence and ash. The house, a quiet pile of ash, will join the dust of history. The land will sit still and smug underneath my toeless feet, and smokeless then, the clouds will whiten and laugh. Come with me to the porch. Sit please with me on the split wicker. Speak please to me without the condescension of clouds and the man. Speak please to me without laughter. Look not at my missings, but at my eyes where my skull itself is eating them, and watch as the sign language of their tired twitch and veins scream out to you for help, and watch please how heaven and the sun has dried them up red. And watch how they've been painted and repainted again, white and red as birth again, and again to hide their ugly dumbness and poverty. Sit please with me on the split wicker, and speak to me smooth as liquor, and soothe me too with touches and coos, and your own joking curses of clouds, who laugh up above us while the land lies and laughs below. Look please, not at the ash blowing, and my mother burning, and the shaking belly of the man who laughs. I told you not to do it. This one's called The Pleads, to continue. Give me one of those time-turning yops to set me younger, to get me swinging again. Give me one of your blessings like Joan had or the monks, and get me back to a midnight hour saloon of a house in the hills where young bolo ties would honky-tonk at me till sunrise and the water was cleaner. Bring me back home to my mama's home when it was a home. Please bring me back with a yell and a wink, and make it quick. I can already feel bugs making a home in my armpits. Put me back in the too early and underpaid mornings, shaking with coffee and future. Put me back to the ready-to-work line, the railroad line, the weekend empty and lazy fishing line, the grocery line, and the welfare, but take me back in time. Put me back in the sandpaper mouth nights with eye contact and ride, where I could get away with I wills instead of I do's, or worse yet, the I dids or I might have's. Plant me in the ground again, an early seed in the natural earth, with roots around me to climb and take me out of this overtilled cold. I am so bold to want it again, and I do protest, and I do know that time is just time again, but you are good, and I am good, and free from sin, more or less. If I can't go back to see it all again and again, please take me out and snuff the rest. All right, go ahead and clap. This one's called Just Saw the Truck, and I wrote it about a dream I had about my roommate Dave, who I love very much. Thank you for coming, Dave. Just saw the truck. Love you very much. It's safe to say that we'll never live these lives again, as we do in dreams, as we did before I awoke. I saw you like a cloud, like coming beside the sun. And I've been clamoring for a new unheardness, like a quiet yet unrecognized, a breath in the night air, heard loudly by the awoken. And tonight I thought I got it, at least a whiff of you. Thought I turned into the breath of it, as I want for my own to be diminished within it. The click I heard was only like a fingernail raised against brick, but only one. In time, I've lost it as it scours me. Now I lost the dream again and wonder if we could, what would we ask of what I ask for now? Would you have guessed as to what I ask for now? Does time work on you like it works on clouds moving? I farted around and found art laying as it does unfinished in a creek of light in the mudroom, as the solitary beauty of a crescent moon lays in the basket of a dawn which picks us up from slumber while still suspended and hanging small in a world of in-between and almosts. Planes fly underneath it, screams in the night air, in the morning unheard. I think of you as a cloud and full about to rain. Only awake have I shooed you away, and while asleep pray to you, wishing you a pouring on another house. Just saw the truck, parked out front, and I love you very much. This one's an old poem. It's from my stepdad's perspective. Neil says he's not coming. He made the poster. Pretty cool poster. Everyone's here to celebrate Neil's poster, so let's give him a round of applause. He said he wouldn't do it unless I read this, so I'm going to read it. It's called Cornbread. Now I wait next to my wife with one breast and kiss the other. Now I turn my hurt back towards my deaf ear and step over my sick dog onto the cold floor against my calloused feet and hear the infernal creaking of the tired boards of my old house and stand and breathe. Now I step my body lightly down the stairs and past mirrors that I won't stare into. Now I slip into the cold kitchen and my weight makes the pot sway and the vinyl begs to be replaced. Her sons sleep in the room adjacent and I smell their towels on the floor and count the flushes of toilet they've wasted and hurt for every cent, but forget it. Now I make cornbread before church and before the dress and the makeup and wig and before the unruly minister looks at her and before I get my car to start and feed my dog and before, now I make cornbread. Thank you. This will be my last poem of the night. Thank you everybody for showing up. It really does mean a lot to me. I feel very loved. And I'm reading with two incredible poets. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me. Where's Aaron?
I'm out in the hall.
I'm his satellite.
Yeah, please stick around for his reading. He has a new book and it's incredible. It's called Why. And yeah, this is my last poem. It's called I Come Up From the Earth. I come up from the earth from where yonder is. I come up above a nightgown ship laid back on a brass bed, back again 3 decades and out from my father, from farther than that and farther from yonder still, come out into my mother and out come me. I come out from below a dewy eye, squeezed shut as I come out underneath it. A sigh blew out then and little parts of breath parted my hair sideways like rhododendron on a ridge. A cowlick, you see, I still sport before your eyes. Once, there I lay, having come up down from the hills, tainted to the hilt, and knees doused with mud, red as a Carolina live birth in a porcelain tub, mud and blood then parading down my cheeks after a switching, black against white sheets in the moonlight. Look into me now, and my liver yellow as the daylight casting a shadow before me. My old body splayed stark on the street, dust coming up out of me gray as I ever was, like a silver mirror who follows me in morning and blurs into night. A man of my own who gets to sleeping in heaven as I dream awake and in color. It's yellow, you see. Time passed and I'm gray as the street. Cracks all along it come up from the earth, as she's cold and hot-tempered, demanding a change that I can't give to her on account of my past and future living amongst the mountains, yearly dewy as my mother's eyes closed shut. And I'm wet now as I was anointed with some grace which further grazed the old die-cast light of me, a baptism of he who I'd gladly have leapt over to walk again facing the mountains. And I'll make it home, sure as God made the daylight, which eclipses me so. Thank you.